3-axis gimbals have become so good and so ubiquitous that they can be used for almost every type of filmmaking. But in order to use your gimbal effectively, you need to know everything from how to set it up to what shots it's capable of getting. Here's how to use a handheld gimbal. Gimbal stabilizers use motors to minimize camera vibration or shake while allowing the operator to move independently. They can be small enough to use with smartphones and large enough to hold cinema cameras. Unbalanced gimbals aren't as responsive and they have to work harder, draining their battery much faster. Make sure that your camera, lens, memory cards, and any external monitors or microphones are all attached and inserted exactly the way you want them to be when balancing. The camera angle largely dictates how you're going to hold the gimbal when shooting. Some gimbals allow you to flip or rotate the camera over for shooting higher angles, while some can also be rotated into briefcase or underslung mode to shoot from lower angles without having to bend over or squat as much. If the gimbal allows, adjust the hand grips to fit either what's most comfortable or what works best for the shot. You basically have 3 choices for moving the camera. 1, the camera can stay put as the gimbal moves, which is great for getting smooth shots with not so smooth movements or terrain. 2, the camera can move with the gimbal movements, which is great for single operator projects and following fast action. And 3, the camera can be moved with a controller, whether it's a thumb controller on the gimbal or with a second operator using joysticks or a kinetic controller. Practice with different settings to see how much you prefer to force the camera into moving and how easy it is for you to move it around comfortably. Instead of rails or a dolly track, you simply walk, run, bike, or ride an office chair on the path that you create. The toughest part is keeping it straight and at the same height, so use lines on the ground and keep objects in the same spot in the frame throughout your move. You can mimic the rising and lowering shots of larger cranes and jibs by either bending over or squatting as low as you can, then standing up as you raise your arms. Just remember to keep your back straight to avoid fatigue. Move the camera through a very tight space like a window or a hole and keep shooting all in one move. A more compact gimbal allows you to fit into smaller spaces, keeping it smooth throughout. Since gimbals are so versatile, somewhat compact and relatively lightweight, they can be transferred between 2 or more people, C-stands, or even between moving objects. A variation on the dolly shot, the orbit shot is easy to perform because you don't have any cords or tracks to worry about, and the subjects don't have to be stationary or stay within a confined space. The gimbal is free to move as the subject does. Some gimbals have stands or built-in tripods, so you can use the controls when locked down or docked to get some solid pans and tilts. You can also use a tree, sign, or rock as your stand in a pinch, since gimbals neutralize most of the movement. As the weight of your camera setup and the length of your shoot increases, so too does the strain on your body. With a rig, you can shoot longer and, depending on the model, you can do more moves with a greater range of motion since there's less overall strain. They're pricey, so renting may be your best option. Gimbals don't stop vertical movement of the camera, so bobbing or swimming can show up in the footage as the camera operator walks. You can lessen this by bending your knees, walking with even, deliberate footsteps and rolling from heel to toe, and holding the camera further away from your body. If cost isn't an issue, you can also use a rig equipped with a dampening arm. The number of options available in gimbal apps is really incredible. You can perform basic tasks like calibrating the gimbal and setting the pan and tilt sensitivity, but you can also use an app to set up and even keyframe automated shots like time lapses, panoramas, motion time lapses, and hyperlapses. As far as accessories, you can customize your entire setup to include monitors, microphones, thumb controllers, focus, iris, zoom controls, and more. As long as you can support the weight, you can attach it. When you add a second or remote operator, you can open up lots of possibilities for more creative shots. The camera settings and positions can be controlled remotely, freeing up the gimbal operator to focus solely on supporting the weight of the gimbal. This is also crucial if the gimbal is mounted or placed somewhere out of reach, allowing you to move and adjust it with the click of a button or the touch of a joystick. Using a gimbal in your productions is a no-brainer since they're so versatile as filmmaking tools. While they do have a slight learning curve, it's easy to pick up after a little practice. Once you understand just how much gimbals are capable of achieving, you won't want to shoot without one. If you like this video, check out our YouTube channel and subscribe for more tutorials. You can also read the Pond5 blog for an in-depth companion piece, as well as other filmmaking tips and tricks. And as always, head over to pond5.com to get millions of video clips and other assets to use in your next project.